Indian scooter space is getting crowded and fast. From sporty offerings, feature-loaded urban runabouts and family scooters, there's a lot of choice for the Indian scooter buyer today. In this noise, Suzuki has updated its popular Burgman Street 125. Its maxi style scooter offering. In fact, one of the first maxi style scooters available in this segment. Now in 2026, the Suzuki Burgman Street 125 gets refreshed styling, minor but meaningful updates to the engine, a stiffened chassis and a feature list which makes it feel current. On paper, it sounds like Suzuki has done its homework, but in a segment that has evolved rapidly, the question isn't whether the Burgman Street 125 is better. The question is whether it makes sense at all now in 2026. That's what we intend to find out. But before that, if you're new to our channel, please do hit that bell, subscribe to our channel so that you get notified every time we ride an interesting new scooter like this or ride an interesting new motorcycle, drive a new car and tell you all about it. But for now, let's take a closer look at the 2026 Suzuki Burgman Street 125 to see what all has changed, what's new. Let's be clear from the start, this is evolution, not revolution. If you're expecting a completely new silhouette, you won't find it here. The Burgman Street 2026 retains that wide maxi scooter stance that's always set it apart from the crowd. But look closer and the changes are genuinely appealing. The body panels have gone through a noticeable rounding off, softer curves, cleaner lines and a more premium fleshed out look compared to the outgoing Burgman Street 125. The new LED headlight is a proper standout, drawing clear inspiration from Suzuki's flagship superbike, the Hayabusa. It's bold without being aggressive. You also get 12-inch wheels both front and rear, which contributes to that planted, grown-up road presence. In fact, the rear 12-inch wheels gives it much better proportions than the first gen Burgman Street 125, which came with a thin 10-inch wheel at the rear. And then there's the TFT display, full color with connected technology, including turn-by-turn navigation, call and message alerts, and app integration via Bluetooth. For an updated scooter, that's a proper feature statement. The Burgman Street 125 now gets this, a key fob, which opens up keyless operation. So you don't need a key to start the scooter. There's a knob here, multifunction key, and through that you can open up the seat hatch, which opens up the underseat storage boot, which also gets more storage space now, 24.6 liters of underseat storage. More importantly, there's one very convenient thing, which is your remote hatch, which is the external fuel filler. You don't need to open the seat hatch every time you need to go and fill fuel. So that's a very handy thing to have. On top of that, you have a hatch here with a lid, and inside that is your USB charging point. Very handy thing to have. You can store your phone there and shut it off so that it's not visible to anyone. Only drawback is it's still an A-type charging socket, not a C-type, but you have what you have. There's also a cubby hole on the right side just below the multifunction key, and you also get a separate key. This is something which you may carry or may not carry. This is just a safety feature. If you don't want to use the multifunction key, you can use this key to open the seat hatch as well, like that. I think it looks quite premium and fancy, particularly in this silver color option. And with that bronze finish there, with that mudguard, the shape does give a hint of an inspiration from the Hayabusa, doesn't it? Overall, I think it's still an attractive looking scooter, and many buyers would be attracted towards the 2025 Burgman Street 125 purely on the looks department alone. Of course, it gets that stance of a proper maxi scooter, although it's a 125cc scooter. You can sit like this, and for longer rides you can stretch out your legs like that. So yes, it has got that maxi scooter appeal, which not too many rivals can offer at that price point and in that segment. Twist the throttle and you are greeted by something that feels very Suzuki. The 124cc single-cylinder fuel-injected engine is smooth, refined and entirely fuss-free. It pulls cleanly from low revs, and what's noticeable is the grunt at mid-range now. It feels more eager to pull stronger from low and mid revs, and it does so without any drama or harshness. In stop-and-go city traffic, it's genuinely relaxing to ride. The stiffer chassis is noticeable. It brings improved structural rigidity, and the ride quality sits in that comfortable neutral zone. Not too plush, not too firm. The larger 12-inch wheels help here too, rolling over broken roads with more composure than the smaller wheel that it came with earlier. But to be honest, dynamic sharpness is not really the Burgman Street's game. The steering is stable rather than sporty, and the suspension is tuned more for comfort than corner carving. That's not meant to say that this feels unstable or out of balance if you're taking a corner, but it's not exactly at home if you're the kind of guy who wants sportier performance and dynamics from your scooter. It won't put a grin on your face on a twisty road, but on the commute, you will hardly have any reason to complain with the Burgman Street 125. It's a scooter built around ease, and on that front, it continues to deliver. On the move, what's noticeable is that the new Burgman Street 125 feels more eager. The torque comes in earlier in the revs, and that means this feels more eager than before. Although it's a heavy scooter at 115 kg and it's a long scooter as well, but you will not be left wanting for performance or grunt from that 125cc engine. And the chassis has been stiffened also. Company says 25% more torsional stiffness. That has aided its balance and handling. So even if you're taking corners, the Burgman Street 125 remains composed and stable. So in those departments as well, you will have no reason to complain. And the best part is the fuel economy. Now this scooter is brand new. It came to me with 5 kilometers on the odo, and I've just been riding it since then. Still, it's returning me about 43-44 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good for that kind of a maxi scooter design and stance. And in that segment, if you go easy on the throttle, you'll easily get 45-47 kilometers per liter is what I estimate. And I think those figures are pretty good for that kind of scooter with that kind of performance. So overall, in the performance department, this will satisfy all your needs. The Burgman Street 125 gets a front disc brake, and stopping power for the most part is quite likable. But the absence of ABS makes the front wheel lock up under hard braking, and that is something you need to be a little careful about. If there was ABS, that could make the difference between stopping safely and perhaps having a spill. The 2026 Suzuki Burgman Street 125 is in many ways exactly what it should be. A very likable scooter with a proper maxi scooter stance, and that is its biggest strength. Pair that with the tried and tested power plant shared with the Suzuki XS125, TFT display with connected tech, keyless operation, stiffer and more composed chassis, there's little to find fault with this scooter. But there's a catch. The 2026 Burgman Street 125 still doesn't get ABS, and that's a bit of a letdown, particularly when the new Suzuki XS125 does come with ABS. If Suzuki addresses that in the coming months, this one is easy to recommend. For now, it's just one feature short of being the obvious choice. What are your thoughts on the 2026 Suzuki Burgman Street 125? Do let us know in the comments below, and if you've liked this review, do share it ahead with somebody who may be interested in buying a maxi style scooter like this one.